Good afternoon to all of our viewers and welcome to today's edition of NMH at 1. I'm your hostess Priska Agnolo. Let's get the show on the road. Starting off with a video news segment. Emotions are running high in Keetmanshoop, where pensioners are struggling to receive their payouts. Elizabeth Joseph was there.
Pensioners in Keetmanshoop are up in arms because their pension payment points have been moved. According to Kara's Regional Council Chairperson Joseph Isaacs, pensioners used to receive their money from the post office, but that this has been temporarily handed over to Ipupa Investment Fund. He added that they then had to go to the constituency office, but due to environmental concerns, they were left with no choice but to gather in the centre of town.
Toen moest die mensen bij mijn constituentie, bij kantoor gekregen. Maar hij kantoor en die environment daarin voor die mensen om weer te lopen door en alles. Het is gezegd, kom zo die mensen die was zonder barken. Wat nou gebeurt is, hierdie machine, hierdie mensen wat bij is net twee machines. Ene werkt niet, of ene wat niet werkt. Zo dat bij net bij ene. Nou, daar was mensen wat vroeger gekomen, zoals 2 uur, 1 uur voordat. Wat nou achter staan, dat nou ongelukkig is. Voor die ongelukkigheid hier vandaag is niet oor de pijn, maar het is meer oor het feit dat die orde is niet gaan schikken.
Residents of the Rainbow Village housing development in Rundu are literally drowning in sewage, despite the local contractor promising Minister Erastus Utoni that the situation would be rectified. Kenya Kamboe reports.
Just 3 weeks after Urban and Rural Development Minister Erastus Utoni visited Rundu to intervene into a situation at the Rainbow Village housing project on sewage water entering houses, the situation has reoccurred even after the minister was promised it won't happen again. The houses were constructed by Chinese-born local businesswoman Stina Wu's company, the Helmsman Group, in 2013. NMH at 1 visited Rainbow Village yesterday after a homeowner alerted us to this situation. Helmsman Group local managing partner Chris Shivolo said the problem is a result of Norad having cut the electricity to the pump station over an outstanding invoice of $8,000. Shivolo gave the assurance that the invoice has been paid and that the situation would be rectified.
Rundu Rainbow houses. This is a particular house here where when the sewage pump overfloods, the water comes into this residence. As you can see here, the family has tried to channel it out of their yard, as you can see there. But a couple of weeks ago, the Minister Erastus Utoni, the Minister of Urban and Rural Development, was in Rundu, particularly at this place where I'm standing currently, and he gave an order that this shouldn't repeat itself. But as you can see, history has repeated itself, so the family are calling on the contractor to come and address this situation.
NMH recently hosted a panel discussion on mining in Namibia. Here's a short synopsis of the current situation.
There are a few hurdles and challenges that to an extent inhibit the value addition to raw minerals. One is the not readily availability of power, because you would understand that in order to add value to minerals so that they are fully beneficiated, you would require an industry plants that require a lot of power. And currently, as we all know, as we all are aware, our power requirements are not all locally met. We export a lot of power from South Africa and from other neighboring countries through agreements. The other real challenge is perhaps when your process requires a lot of water and you are in an area where water is a scarce resource and not readily available for your processing plants. To an extent, there might be a bit of human resources deficiency, but I think that is something that's easy to acquire and to adapt locally.
COVID-19 monitor, we zoom in on quarantine data. Since Saturday, the number of people still accommodated in official quarantine facilities dropped to below 1,500. On Monday, this figure stood at 1,090, the lowest since mid-May. The last time this number was below 1,000 was on the 16th of May. Namibia, since the weekend, again accepts negative test results from visitors that are up to 7 days old rather than only 72 hours. Over the 7 days since the 30th of August, 754 individuals entered quarantine, while more than 1,200 were discharged and allowed to return home or to continue with their journeys. During this period, those quarantined in the Erongo region decreased from 400 to 290, while the total for Karas dropped from 220 to 120. In the Omaheke region, those accommodated in government-approved facilities also decreased with almost 100. These facilities ran empty in the Kavango regions and Khomas, with smaller reductions reported in Kunene, Omusati and Oshikoto. The figure for the Oshodon-Jupa region remained at 60. Moving on to the front pages of our Namibian newspaper dailies. Namibian Sun reports that former legal drafter in the Justice Ministry, Gilbert Muhongo Mutwa, says he is in line to become the next chief of the Masubia tribe, succeeding Kisco Leswani III, who succumbed to COVID-19 in July. Mutwa made reference to a meeting held at Ngoma on the 14th of August, where 14 elders from the royal family allegedly agreed that he is the best candidate to take over the revered throne. Republican reports that Johann Marie, who is accused of raping underage boys and producing and distributing child pornography, resumed his formal bail application in the Windhoek Magistrates Court on Monday. Marie claims to have made a statement under duress in which he incriminates himself. Allgemeine Zeitung reports that state institutions are largely failing to meet their accountability obligations to make plans about their spending available to the public. This is the conclusion reached by the Institute for Public Policy Research in a new report. IPPR yesterday released its 13th procurement tracker in Namibia, which takes a critical look at government spending and contract awards. The Namibian reports that the state-owned diamond company, Namibia, plans to start auctioning some of its diamonds on the internet, but there are concerns that the company continues to sell rough diamonds cheaply in Dubai and India. New Era says residents of Oshikango in the Upindi informal settlement have accused the Oshakati Town Council of leaving them destitute when their shacks were demolished this week. The angry community members said they fear their shacks will be demolished as they do not have title deeds. Some of those whose shacks have been demolished claim they have lived on their property for more than 10 years. Moving on to the inside pages of the country's dailies. Namibian Sun reports that the National Youth Council's plans to conduct an organizational assessment is in jeopardy after a mutiny among dismayed employees who claim the assessment is aimed at targeting outspoken workers. The employees were informed last month by their line managers about the plans to conduct the assessment. Republican reports that the leaders of the Landless People's Movement, Bernardo Swartboy and Henny Sebeb, are back in Parliament and support the motion against the genocide agreement between Namibia and Germany. AZ reports that in a last-minute announcement yesterday, the Windhoek municipality announced that it will construct bicycle lanes in the western suburbs of Kommersdal, Dorado Park and Windhoek West, with the support of the German development agency GIZ. More specifically, these paths will be constructed along Florence Nightingale Road in Kommersdal, as well as Dr. Kuwaima Ririukao Road between Dorado Park and Windhoek West, and Andrew Kloppers and Brahms Roads in Windhoek West. The Namibian reports that the Ministry of Finance has warned the Trans-Namib Board not to involve itself in the tender-related matters at the National Railway Company. New Era reports that a family at Rainbow Village in Rundu has been left frustrated over sewage that constantly flows back into their yard whenever the wastewater station is out of order, putting their lives at risk of diseases. The faulty sewer pump station constantly breaks down, leaks and spills sewage water on the street and nearby homes.
Windhoek Express, the capital's online community newspaper, hosts its first garage market at the end of the month, and any small or medium enterprise is welcome to come and sell their beautiful craft then, while at the same time supporting Dagbreek School. There will also be a variety of previously loved cars on sale. Don't delay. Book your spot today.
And we finally reached the end of our show, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to thank you so much for always supporting NMH at 1. Do stay tuned for the weather as well, and goodbye.